What is up, everybody? RoboGuap here. It's time for my Warlock exotic video. So you've either just unlocked Transcendence or you just beat the campaign and you have some fragments unlocked. So what do? Well, first of all, if you haven't unlocked any exotics yet, you want to get started on unlocking those exotics. And just like my other vids, I want to go over how you start that. So the loop is this: you are grabbing prime engrams, bringing them to Rahul. You're getting exotics, bringing them to Rahul. And as you're going and unlocking exotics, you're going to start unlocking some armor, but you want to get to a point where you can go in here to the focus decoding and go to the 4th page, because here is where you're going to be able to unlock whatever you want. You're going to need an exotic cipher and an exotic engram. Now, as you can see here, for every prestige rank, meaning you raise this all the way up to rank 16 or 17, you get a exotic cipher. You can also go into your season pass if you have it unlocked. If you don't, I highly suggest unlocking it, because the season pass has not a lot of ciphers, but it has a lot of exotic engrams. If you're having trouble finding any engrams for whatever reason, but you will be able to unlock a lot of exotic engrams in the season pass. There's very easy to get them on the season pass. So going back over here, I'm gonna start from the bottom of the list. I usually just been going every row and then going down to the bottom, but I want to start from the bottom because it's the most recent for the Warlock, and it just started getting to the point where you can focus a role as a Warlock. We've always been able to be a well, or you're just healing your teammates or controlling the battlefield with stasis. Now we're kind of jumping into support role / healer, and the first exotic armor piece I'm going to suggest is Rhymecoat Raiment, and that is because your Bleak Watcher turrets create a somewhat shelter, and in that shelter you are granted icicles over time. And then icicles activate when you fire your weapons, applying slow to targets they hit. So it's kind of a shelter for you and your teammates, and it just big stasis crystals come around in a circle around you and kind of protect you from enemies, but as well it is defensive and offensive. So I really highly suggest this. You can use it in prismatic, so that's why I suggest that one. The next one I'm going to suggest is this one right here. It's called Speaker Sight, and it turns your healing grenades into a restorative turret, and healing allies occasionally spawns an orb of power. So you combine this with either a well, or you can combine it with your solar subclass, and have your fragments that provide healing for solar abilities and solar weapons, and you pretty much become a healer for your team. And you can build more into it the more you focus it. The next one is specifically for the Void subclass. It's called Briar Binds. Your Void souls have a longer duration. They also gain escalating damage and durability, as they defeat targets, and you can retrieve your void souls by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployed. So you can physically pick up your void soul after you finish a group of enemies. It'll reset the timer, and then you can shoot it to another group of enemies, and you can keep doing that as long as you get it before that timer is over. And by that time you'll have another rift for a void soul, so if you lose it for whatever reason. But this is really good for the void subclass. It's really good right now for the void mods in the seasonal mod, or the seasonal artifact. So this would be a really good one to try out for your void subclass. Next we have the cenotaph. Trace rifles are really big right now, and I bring up trace rifles because this helmet steadily reloads a portion of your equipped trace rifle magazine from reserves, and damaging a vehicle, boss, or champion with the trace rifle marks them as the target. When an ally defeats the marked target, special ammo is generated for you and heavy ammo for your allies. So if you're using a trace rifle like Lodestar, some people have Divinity, or you know, something like Cold Heart or Prometheus Lens, Wave Splitter, any of these. If you have any of these, this will pair nicely with the helmet. The next one that I'm going to recommend, I could recommend the Swarmers. That's if you want to focus on straight strand subclass, or if you're using a lot of strand to create tangles. It's really up to you. I mean, this season is probably really big right now on strand, so you could use it to try them out. But I mean, it's just a little niche thing if you're using strand. If you were to use osmiomancy and you were straight stasis, you can use your cold snap grenade to create turrets. And how you do that for cold snap is you would basically just hold the grenade button till it turns into a turret. If we go in here to stasis, go into stasis, you have cold snaps, you have bleak watchers equipped, you hold your grenade button, and you have the ability to summon 2 cold snap turrets. And then if you build more into your grenades, the more you use your melee, you can bring up more grenades to create more turrets, and it just eventually you just have a bunch of turrets of stasis. So that's a good one to play with, good little build to have if you're maining a stasis character subclass. The next one, this, if you're going into the healer role, there is a weapon that you can have, as well as a set of boots to focus more on that healing role. So with the boots of the assembler, standing in a healing rift creates noble seekers that seek out allies that are not in the rift and heal them. And then if you stand in an empowering rift, it creates noble seekers that grant both you and your ally a damage bonus. And each time a noble seeker finds one of your allies, the duration of your rift is briefly extended while you are standing in it. It provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effective stat of the hand cannon Lumina. So if you have Lumina, this kind of works hand in hand with that. And it's just you only want these if you have Lumina, because you won't get the full effect unless you're just spamming healing rifts or spamming empowering rifts to support your team. The next one I will recommend is going to be the Mantle of Battle Harmony. Final blows with weapons matching your equipped super damage type grant you super energy. When your super energy is full, you gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that type. So if you're holding on to your super and not using it, you can possibly get a bonus to your weapon damage depending on what subclass you are on or what super you have equipped and what kind of elements you're using. It can buff those elements. So that's another one to look into if that's something you want to try. Necrotic grips are good for using your melees to cause damage over time. You can pair it with solar, you can pair it with really any of your melees. I think solar was better just because of the solar damage over time combining with the melee damage over time. But really, I mean, it's just an open field to see whatever feels comfortable to you. And then as you defeat poison targets, it spreads the condition, and this provides a moderate benefit to airborne effectiveness of stat of all weapons of sorrow. So weapons of sorrow, one of them being the hand cannon Thorn. So Thorn is considered a weapon of sorrow. If you go to the lore, it is mentioned as the 7th book of sorrow being spoken of. And there is other weapons. I do not have them on this account, but there are other weapons that are considered to be weapons of sorrow. So that's just something that they made to kind of make builds with for the Warlock. After, if you are a big Daybreak user on your Warlock, Dawn Chorus is making Daybreak projectiles deal more damage and scorch targets on impact, and your scorch is improved and you gain a small amount of melee energy when your scorch damages a target. So if you're building a solar Warlock and you're using Daybreak, this is a helmet you can try out with that. Moving on, Getaway Artist. This is the main one of the main exotics I use for my Warlock when I want to just do something simple and easy. So the build is going to be for Prismatic. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your Storm Grenade, make sure you have Bleak Watcher, and then you are gonna just make sure you can either have Hellion, or you can have Feed the Void, or whatever you feel comfortable using. But the more you use the ability with the grenades, the more grenades you'll be able to throw, and it amplifies you. So as you are amplified, you're regaining back your abilities very fast. So eventually you get it to where you're just bringing out more and more um, arc souls and then grenades, and all you are doing is holding your grenade and it consumes your arc grenade. It turns an arc soul on for you, and if you have the Bleak Watcher, it also gives you a stasis turret because you're eating your grenade. So you're getting 2 effects from one piece of exotic armor. So that's a really easy and fun build to use. So that's something you want to play around with as you beat the campaign, then I highly recommend it. Geomag stabilizers, these are the main exotic you want to use when you're using Chaos Reach on your Warlock. Chaos Reach is the Arc subclass super. It extends the duration, makes it stronger, and when you're sprinting while near max full charge, it will grant stacks over time. And then when you collect ionic traces, it grants you energy for Chaos Reach. So it just helps you get Chaos Reach back really strong, really fast when you're on the Arc subclass. Moving on from there, we have I would recommend claws if you're using something like the stasis melee for PvP, or if you just want an extra melee for your solar subclass. There's different uses for it, but I mean, it's up to you. It just really gives you an additional melee charge. Verities is good because weapon final blows with a damage type matching your grenade. It grants you death throws, which provides grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy. So when you have death throws and you throw a grenade, nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time. So there's that. You can use that one if you want to use grenades a lot. Right now, Sanguine Alchemy is really strong because while you're standing in any rift, damaging a target will mark it, and you deal extra damage to marked targets and gain additional bonus damage with weapons that have the damage type matching your equipped super. Weapon final blows while standing in any rift pause the rift's countdown, extending its duration. So as long as you're getting kills in a rift, or you have a solar weapon, it pauses that rift, and you can continuously do more solar damage and more time with your rift. And then we're gonna pause right here. Give me 1 second. so going from Sanguine Alchemy, we are going to Ophidians. Ophidians are mainly for PvP. So if you are a PvP player, you're interested in PvP and playing against people in the Crucible, this is your gun. I mean, this is your armor piece right here. This is what you're gonna use. This is what you're gonna, you're gonna put this on as soon as you hop in PvP. So just get that, right off the bat. If you're only in this game to play against other people and play in Crucible, this is what you want. You don't want nothing else. Then going to the top, we are gonna say transversive steps are kind of a niche thing. Sprint speed is increased. After a short time of sprinting, your currently equipped weapon is automatically reloaded. So again, more of a Crucible type gun or armor piece. But if you don't want to think about reloading, then that's what you want to grab. Skull of Dire Ahamkara. It's a cool looking helmet. It provides additional damage resistance during Nova Bomb and Nova Bomb final blows and weapon final blows, while you have Devourer grant super energy. So if you're using Nova Bomb, you want to use this. It's a easy, extra Nova Bomb energy kind of thing. From there, we have Starfire Protocol. If fusion grenades get buffed in the future, this gives you an additional one. And then you have, so fusion grenades have an additional charge and recharge from empowered weapon damage, with empowered weapon final blows granting more energy. Defeating targets with fusion grenades grants rift energy. So there's a little loop there that you can play with. And going from there, Sun Bracers used to be really strong. It used to have a shorter cooldown to where you could spam solar grenades. Now there's a little bit of a timer, so it increases the duration of a solar grenade. And then solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time. The time isn't as long, and you can't spam the grenades for as long as you used to be able to. So they nerfed it down to where it's fun, but it's not as fun as it used to be. And then from there, you have Lunafaction boots. This used to be really big in DPS rotations. Your rifts gain the additional ability to increase weapon reload speed, and empowering rift makes weapons effective over longer ranges. So the loop used to be you used a well, and you had these on, and you can shoot further with your whatever you're dealing damage with, whether it was shotguns when it was shotgun meta, or fusion rifles when it was a fusion rifle meta. These would be really good for the DPS. Moving on, we have Nezarec Sin. Nezarec Sin, you get void kills, it increases ability regen, and void damage kills increases ability regen recharge rate. So straightforward. It's a void season right now. If you want to try it out, see how it works for you. If you are using void weapons, go crazy. Eye of Another World highlights priority targets and improves the regeneration speed of your grenade, melee, and rift abilities. Provides a small benefit to the airborne effective stat of all weapons. I haven't dabbled in this one too much, but there's obviously better exotics that you want to have other than that. And Karnstein and Winter's Guile are both melee oriented, so if you wanted to have a melee build, those are the ones you want to go with. Karnstein, just restoring health for a short duration, and then Winter's Guile increases your melee damage as you get melee kills. So there's certain exotics that you want to actually go for and play with, and there's certain exotics that you just, you know, really don't get too much benefit from. But I mean, in the end, it's really up to you what you want to use. The ones I named and kind of went in depth over are the ones I think worth going for in your first go around as a Warlock. Gonna try and cut that here. Don't want to go as long as I did on the other ones. Almost went for, you know, over the 28-minute mark, going, you know, touching 30 minutes. Gonna ramble a little bit here. If you stuck through the video to this point, videos coming next are gonna be going over Edge of Fate and things that were just announced. Oh my gosh, you scared the crap out of me, Master Rahul. Okay, gonna be doing a video for Edge of Fate. We just had the TWID come out today. It's Thursday, June 5th, 2025. So gonna get some notes together, gonna read over the TWID a couple times, and hopefully I can have this video out within the next day or so. But yeah, I gotta get my trying to do some more title screens and stuff for the videos, kind of pique interest so people can see, you know, come check out my videos, come see what I'm about. If you stuck around this long, I'm a channel trying to help new light players, people getting into Destiny, people starting Edge of Fate. So if you are so inclined and you have the time, please leave a like, please leave a comment, please leave a suggestion, and you know, I will get to your suggestions, your comments. I will respond, and we can have a conversation about the game. Until then, thank you so much for checking out the video, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.